Okay, so in the last session we have seen some of the processes will be sharing the resource. Okay, as I mentioned, there is one resource called edit one is present in the third frame. Okay, you can see here process process name corresponds to frame number. So outside we have our frame numbers. Inside is a page number, you can say, or the name of a data. So ED1 is between many of the processes. See here you can see ED1 is in the third frame. Here also ED1 is in the third frame. So third frame consists of ED1. So no matter how many processes will use, the ED1 will be present in a common frame. Hence it's called unique allocation. So whoever is process is requiring, this is called a sharing of a resource. Whichever process like among the P1, P2, P3 right now, they are need of this ED1, they should follow the instructions of deadlock avoidance situation. Okay, if P1 is holding, P2 should not request and or fight. Same for P3. Okay, if P1 is presently holding, it should not hold unnecessarily and also try to get a new resources, new other resources. That makes hold and wait. Okay, so circular wait should not take place. Like that, memory management unit and operating system will try to uh, uh, clear such a possible occurrences of deadlock. Okay, sometimes still deadlock occurs because memory management unit and operating system will be unable to solve the deadlock possible case. Okay, so next what we have is structure of a page table. Okay, I hope we have started. Okay, fine. So page table, this is what a page table is. Left side we will have a frame number. In the first slot we will have something happen. Okay, right. Right. Okay, here this is a page number and here will be the frame numbers. Once you go for a frame table here, physical memory layer. Anybody drawn or what happened here? Okay, so fine. What will be the structure of a page table? So here I have shown you the page table structure. It will be page number in the left. Next is a frame number and next are the information bits. Information bits. Okay, right. Okay, so structure of the page table. So structure of a page table will consist of straightforward information. Okay, so what one will be the page number, next will be the frame number, valid or invalid bits. Okay, so let us have one concept. Uh, okay, so that will be here. Okay, right. So if we have 32 bits logical address space, if we have 32 bits logical address space, okay, so how it should be divided. Okay, so I want to show you one diagram which I intentionally kept as a, I will explain in the future. Okay, here it is. So this m minus n bits and n bits. This is important. I have kept it as a pending. Okay. So m minus n bits and n bits. Totally, here is a explanation. Right. So total length is 32 bit. Total length of address is 32 bit. In that, if you keep n as 12. So now the question, what n indicates? N indicates offset measurement. 12 bits are reserved for offset calculation. So out of here, let me type and explain here. So total it is 32 bits length. Okay. In that 12 bits we reserve for offset. So what we left with is 20 bits for what? Page number. Okay. Length of page number is identified by 20 bits. Length of offset is identified by 12 bits. Now the question, what is this 12 bits and 20 bits indicate us? Okay. So here I will show with that one idea. Okay. Now what I do is here, okay, see now, total answer here is 32 bit. Bit 0, okay, sorry, I will move to different. Bit 31, bit 30, so on up to smallest bit called bit 0. Okay, here I will mention something in the intermediate, that's B11. Okay, here I will mention B12. So now total size is 32 bits. You can see B0 to B31 bits. In that I will make this set separate. Okay, this I will call it as n bits. This I will call it as n bits. Okay, n bits for the purpose of what? Offset. Okay, so as I mentioned, m minus n bits will be for page number. So that makes what? Out of 32, 12 bits I have reserved means 20 bits. That is for page number. Okay, page number, and this n bit is for offset. Now one important thing here is okay, so this is a point, very important. Draw. Okay, so this is what the area memory. Okay, so now first memory 0 0 0 0 like that, total 32 times, total 32 times. So it is a down facing memory. Highest memory is what? 1. How many times? 32 times. Okay, so this is total length of a memory. Is it clear now? Out of which we will reserve to every location. If you take one location whose number is like this, 4 zeros, 4 ones, okay, again 4 zeros, again 4 ones. Okay, let's see now. 1 2 3 4. Okay, this is very lengthy. Here I will take like this. Okay, if I expand this, what I will get is, if I expand this 0, I will get a 4 sub zeros. If I expand this 0, again I will get a 4 sub zeros, like that. If I expand this one, I will get a 00001. Correct? So out of this, first 12 bits, that means what here? Okay, here is a 1. These 12 bits, these first 12 bits will indicate a displacement or a D, and remaining 20 bits will indicate the page number. I hope you understood now the difference between page number and displacement. One simple word, let me tell you, is in every room, okay, if I make a seat number of examination during examination for each student like this, okay, see, I will draw like this, A 216 alpha hyphen 8. Here you should say, after hyphen whatever is there, that is for offset. Before hyphen, that is for page or a room number. So here I should write this. Why? Because in each room we are going to give 18 students. So what is the next number? A 216 hyphen 09. I hope you are understanding now. A 213 hyphen 08. A 115 hyphen 18. Okay, so B 211, say some number hyphen 18. Okay, see these last two bits are for offset. Okay, the remaining thing is for room number. Hope you understood now. Okay, so same concept here also. for explaining of this. Okay, I have to clear this. All right. Okay. Right. Okay. Now coming back to this page table length here, as I mentioned. Okay. So here, if it is of a 32-bit, we will use as many as 12 for displacement and 20 for the page number. Now, how many types of page table algorithms are there? Definitely you'll get one question from these three, any one. Okay. So what this indicates, there are three types of page table: hierarchical paging. Okay. So then hashed paging, then inverted page table. So let's start the first one, hierarchical. So what do you mean by hierarchical? There will be multiple levels, Okay. Now what you can see is here, if I make a seat for means desk number identification for student like this, you can see here 211, sorry, 21 number hyphen B. Sorry, not a B. I will erase this. 13 or 12, you can say. Okay, not a 12. 08. Okay, 08. This is offset. This is room number. Okay. Now we have two buildings in our college, same type. This I call it as A building. This I call it as a B building. Correct? So there is a possibility that 212 is present in A building and also 212 is present in B building. So now student with the number 212, bench number 8 has a confusion whether he should use a block or B block. So I will increase addressing by another identifier field that is called as this. So now how it works, from bench to the room, room to the building. Okay, now if you want, there may be another college in the same city of Hubli, A212-8. So how to identify now? That's called JH. There may be one more college with the name JH in other districts. So that should be identified by what? Region. Okay. So now this is how the hierarchy works for a student. Same way for USN. See, there is a USN called 210. Student number is 200. For which branch? CS. That's the hierarchy. CS of which year? He belongs to 2019 year. Of which college? Jain College. Of which region? See this. This leads us to more specification. Exactly, we will get to know a student detail. Okay, because there may be another student with the number 210 in other college of same branch, okay, or other branch in the same college, like that. So the hierarchy means what? We will go on adding fields such that explanation becomes lesser, identification becomes easier. Okay, so confusions will get clear as we go on filling it. See, here is a diagram. Okay, this is a page number memory. Okay, so that is mapped onto one page. Okay, page table. This up to this much we have studied here. One page table and one frame that we have studied. So this page table again, it is controlled by outer page table now. So if what happens if you don't maintain this is this table, this page table itself is very large, and it will take a lot of time here to search, then going for corresponding frame. So to avoid that, we will have summary again here. Okay, as I mentioned, some person with the number 210 of which college, like that we will keep on applying a filters. That this is called as 2 level. Okay, we have one more. You can see here. I think here. One second. Yes, you can see now 3 level paging. Offset is there, inner page and outer page. Now you see what is offset 12, inner page 10. So total 22. 22 plus 42, total 64 bits. So that means how it looks. Let me draw here. Offset is this much size. Okay. Inner page is little lesser size because only 10 bits we are using. Correct? But what about this outer page? Outer page is very, very high. That means your most of the time search takes in the first step itself. Once you are sure in the first step and second step, the time are reducing. Okay, what actual approach should be? First step should be smaller, second should be more, third should be some more like that. Correct? So that is what idea. So now what they come up with, instead of making this a 42 bit, let us add a level from only 2 level to 3 level. What happens here? See, you can see now. Offset remain 12 bit, 10 for P3, third inner page, 10 for outer page, 32 for second outer page. Okay, so what happens here? So again, first search time has reduced a lot, reducing a lot. That means you can imagine like this portion has reduced here. Okay, here we got a one more level. Okay, let me show that with the diagram. Here you can see that, right? Okay, so now what happens? There are two specifications: outer page one level, inner page one level, and one more level. You can see now here displacement 10 P2 P1. Okay, so displacement P2 P1. This diagram has been drawn with respect to this case. Here it is. You can see where it was here. Yeah, P2 and P1. If you draw this level, address translation, how it works? Again, you need to write here P3. Correct? P3. One more box will come here. P3, P2, P1 offset. You can go for any level. But one advantage and disadvantage in the both method. Advantage of making more levels, time definitely takes more because of a search, but accuracy increases. If you don't want to compromise with the time, so this space increases. If this space increases, so accuracy reduces. Hope it is clear now with your idea. Okay, so that is called as hierarchical page level. Two level paging. What do you mean by two level paging? Excluding offset, the remaining bits we are dividing into two level of a page number. Okay, so that is what the idea. Excluding offset, page numbers are two levels, right? So if the address length is 64, that means what? Here, your this one here I will show here memory. Okay, this identified with 64-bit address, and last is also identified with 64-bit address. So that means what? Bench number length itself is 64-bit. It is very easy to get a room number, but getting a bench is difficult. So again, it is a less efficiency. So in that time, how the division works? Not only keeping 64-bit in 12 offset, 10 inner page, and 42 outer page. Instead of that, 12 offset, 10 inner page, 10 bits for outer page, and 32 bits for second outer page. That will be the better option. Okay, so that is what idea for hierarchical page technique. So second one is hashed and inverted. I hope hashed we can easily understand because we have studied hash function in your data structure or in your DAO. Okay, hash means what? Whenever address space is more than 32 bit, like just now I have explained 64 bit and all. No? So here searching will be very, very time consuming. So to avoid that, what happens hashing is, I hope you know this concept. If I try to draw, you can easily understand this idea. Okay, here I will try to explain. So what do you mean by hash? See, some English words are starting with the, this, then, there. Okay, see what is common thing? All are started with the T. Let me draw hash table now. What is second thing? Second alphabet H. So third alphabet E. One more third alphabet option I. Okay. Once I is there, among this, what is definite thing? No need to check for fourth letter. This is going to be the definite word. Correct? This is called as hash, how the hash work. But can you decide what letter user has selected only by 3 letters called THE? Among the THE, there, then and there? That is not possible. We have to go through. Okay. So you may expect, okay, if it is not them, now it is a difficult. We should wait till one more letter is accepted. See now, what are the two options we have for after E? One M, one N, and one more we have is R. If R is there, we have to attach the E once again. So now how the work them will work. I hope you know this algorithm in your swipe keypad in the mobile. So what you do, you will press, you will swipe on these alphabets, THR, something THERE. So automatically what that mobile software will do is, it will try to give you here, if you swipe like this, okay, on the screen, in the bottom, it will give you the following words: the, they, them, then. So whichever you wanted to use, you will pick that, and automatically it will be displayed in the text area where you wanted to type. I hope you know that. Okay. So this is what hash functioning is. Okay. So that hash table is that technique is used here. Okay. How we are going to use a hash technique? So by partial comparison, Now one question: if you have typed THE, can you predict OUR word? You wanted to type THE. Is it possible to get OUR? Definitely not possible. That means what? Based upon the pattern, how the user has typed or swiped on the keyboard or touch screen, few words are selected, those are shown. So in the same way, page number, based upon its idea. Let me give you one small analysis. Okay, as I told you, page numbers are starting from 64 zeros to 64 ones. Okay, right? How I can make a hash function is, first bit either 0 or 1. First bit either 0 or 1. So what is the advantage? Check whether first bench is 0 or 1. If I make this exactly half, what happens? Here all the bits here, all the locations here, their first location is 0. Sorry, first bit is 0. Above this, their first bit is 1. Now what is the advantage? Here you see, using a hash function. First here, this is a comparison slot. Correct? So this is also of length 64 bits. If I want to search 0, 1, 1, 0, etc. Okay. So first bit is a hash function. So what is the first bit? 0. Now can you give the answer in the chat box? Okay, I will ask you. So I will get a confusion. Sorry, I will get a clarity whether you are understanding or not. Now, if first bit is 0, whether it will select the upper half or lower half, searching. If first bit is 0, upper half or a lower half? Upper half or a lower half? If first bit is 0. Here is a half thing. Yes. Okay. Why? See this. Now you listen carefully. I will take 10 seconds to search this complete area. 10 seconds. Okay. Now to search some page, how much time? Definitely I am not going to use. Are you getting my question? How much time? Definitely I'm not taking is, see, if this is a 10 seconds, what is definite thing is 5 seconds for upper half, 5 seconds for lower half. So this second slot I am not searching means I'm sure that I'm not going to use 1/2 of this total scale. So my total time maximum is 5 seconds, right? Okay. So again, how we can divide this section? Here again, I can divide this based upon second bit. Why? Because I hope you know how it works. 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1. See now. Okay. So if you write like this, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, right? Then comes what? 0, 1, 1. Correct? 1, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, and all are ones. Now see, based upon first bit, half, upper half. Okay. Again, you can see, based upon second bit, we will have two options. See, this is getting half, no? This. If that second bit is there, again I can say 2.5 seconds. 2.5 seconds. Correct? So I'm not going to search second area, because you see, if second, what is second bit here? 1. Correct? So that means what? I will not say, search here above section. I will search below section. What is definite result? Again, this becomes half. That means what? 2.5 seconds. Correct? So third bit is what? Third bit is again 0 or 1. You can see the pattern. Again, half of this. Once 1.25 seconds. See, getting what was earlier time expected 10 seconds, that has been reduced to 1.25 seconds using a hash. So can you say now, is hashing makes search of a page faster or not? Please reply in the chat box if you understood. Because what, you based upon individual bit, you are going to neglect not possibly present area. So one simple question or a relative concept I would like to tell you is, your friend will come to meet you during in your college days. Okay, you are sitting in the college, your friend or your parent will come. So should they reach, should they search every corner of a college, or how they will do? They will come and ask in the office, my relation, my friend is present in the college in CS branch. So what is definite thing? The office person will tell, he will not point out at mechanical area, civil area and E&C area. He will point to go to second floor, right? So second floor means 75% of a area is not searched. So definitely fastest possibly you will get. I mean, your friend can meet you. So next case, what happens? Once you come to department, you that person may ask, representative of a department. Your friend may ask, my friend is in second year. So suddenly what we will tell, either you go for 214 or 215, or you go for 216. Now again, he is not, he will not, that person will not search all other areas. He will search only 2 rooms. Correct? He will come and stand in front of these 2 rooms. Now you see how much area he is not searching for. He is not searching for a lab. He is not searching for 8 SEM room, 6 SEM room. Now he will come to only 4 SEM A and B room. So he will stand in front of that room and ask whether that person is there. Somebody will ask whether he is a A division or B division. Now you will tell, okay, he is a A division. Definitely he will tell, yes, he is present here. If not, he is not. Same concept is applicable in library. You will go to request for a library. You have requested for CS book. So what that person will tell, he will show only the CS. That means mechanical, civil, and E&C books are not searched. Then you will go there. Okay, 4th SEM book. That means you will not search 8th, 2nd, and 6th. So in that, which subject you want? Next, that subject, which author you want? See, this is what is called as hash page table. I hope you understood with the concept. So why I took these all explanations is definite question in the examination. Please practice this diagram, understand, and you should be able to draw. There will be one inbuilt hash function. Based upon that, few addresses are generated stage wise, few results. So those few results will give next, those few results are input for the next stage. Again, from those results, some are selected, most of them are neglected. So from them, like that, stage by stage work, filtering happens. So finally you end up with exact location. Okay, I hope you understood now for a hashed page table. Okay, so the last one we have and important is inverted page table. Inverted page table. Okay, so now let me try to explain you inverted page table architecture. See, this is a memory. Okay, this is a memory. Now, I hope you know this idea here, where it was yes, here it is, right? So which here you have. Okay, so which process, which data it is using? Correct? Which process, which data it is using? So in the inverted, that is also showing in which frame it is present. In which frame it is present. So inverted means we will make the opposite architecture. We'll make it opposite architecture. So what do you mean by opposite architecture is, here I will show you diagram. Instead of showing page number and offset, try to store process ID also, So what happens here? Process ID, if we maintain a process ID, if we have a process ID, no need to check by page number, check by process ID. So what is importance of process ID? I mean, what we have know about a process ID is process ID will exist only if process exists. Correct? So if process is completed, ID is clear. So what we can say, pages are always present, but what about process? Okay. Okay. Now you simple example I would like to give you is your friend who want to, or your parent who want to search you in the college, instead of coming to the college and search, if he call you and ask, are you in the college? You say yes. Then he will come to college. If you say I'm not in the college, then no need to come and search in the college. I hope you understood. So check whether PID is presently active or not. If active, then search. If not active, no need to search. Correct? In the same way, first search for PID. So if you search for PID, definitely you will get a in which page number it is present. Based upon that, we can go for what searching next. If process ID is not there, definitely. So now one advantage is based upon a process ID. Okay, and one disadvantage is, okay, one disadvantage is, at a time in multi-processing system, at a time hundreds lakhs processes are there. Okay, lakhs of processes are there, then it is time consuming. But one advantage also, even though we have lakhs of processes, is even though we have lakh number of processes at a time, all their ID is unique. That means different. So what we can expect is first column, if you have if you make this again a half like here. Okay, so first column always unique, first column always unique. So if this part is unique, definitely you will get this part very easier, right? Then comes what you will find out, one of a inverted value, one of the inverted value. So what it will be, a frame number. Okay, so that frame, using that frame number and displacement will be copied from here. Merge frame and displacement, you can go to the here, right? Okay, now again one more important, why half is I, another half is not. Same concept. You have sorted this much, sorry, you have searched this much, you find a particular PID here. Okay, you found this PID here. That means what, you don't know the knowledge how much length it is, right? So right now, if PID occurs in a first slot, it is called as best case, right? If PID occurred or available in somewhere here, it's an average case. If PID is in the last, it's a worst case. Not all the time we can say it's a best algorithm. Not all the time we can say it's a worst algorithm. Not all the time we can say it's an average algorithm. It depends upon dynamic availability or allocation of the processes in the process or page table. I hope it is clear now. Okay. So, but one thing is, since PID is a unique, so we can expect answer faster. Okay. And also no extra comparisons required because of a unique PID. Okay. If it is a synchronized, that means master and slave concepts are there. Okay. Some of the concepts, when master process, slave response, like that. So process ID itself voluntarily tell it's my turn to get execute. So it will make highlight, and suddenly CPU will understand, yes, this process is ready to collect the data. So you can predict and get it. Simple, similar ways. Your friend is coming for you to search in the college. You may be available exactly in front of a gate. So it's a best case. Okay, you might have went for a canteen, so he searched everywhere in the college premises, and he will get at end called in the canteen. Okay, that's a worst case. So somewhere in front of office or on the corridor, if you met him, then it's called as an average case. Okay, that's what similar idea, but okay. So that is what inverted page table architecture. Okay, so here not only search by the page number, instead you search by the process ID. Okay, so hope that finishes our module 3. That's chapter 8. I have already shared a notes and question assignment question about this module with Amrut. Okay, so hope he has already shared with you all. Okay, you can start writing assignment and keep assignment with you. Looking into the next scenario, we'll have a plan of collecting them. Okay, so fine. Any doubts you can ask. If not, give your attendance and you can leave the session. Nitish Patil Kulkarni. Okay. So if no doubts, you can give attendance and leave the session. No problem.